She's the first rookie to win WNBA Player of the Month since the award's inception in 2010, and last night it was no exception. They were sky high for Caitlin Clark and the Fever, but to start the season, they had a little bit of a rough go of it. They lost their first 5 games. They ended up 1-8 through their first 9 games, and during that first month, the playoffs, they didn't feel realistic at all. Indy entered the Olympic break 11-15 on the year, and then they really turned it around. They've won 7 of their 8 since. They clinched a playoff berth for the first time since 2016, which, by the way, was the last year of Hall of Famer and franchise icon Tamika Catchings.
She's doing for the WNBA what Magic and I did for the NBA. Those aren't my words. That's Larry Bird talking about Caitlin Clark. When a legend drops a quote like that, you know something big is happening. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to our channel. It makes such a huge difference to us. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. But what exactly does Bird mean? How is Clark transforming the WNBA? We're diving deep into this bombshell statement, looking at everything from Clark's insane stats to the league's surging popularity. Get ready to see why Bird's comparison might be an understatement.
She has lived up to expectations, right? I'm looking at her the way I look at LeBron James, right? For us, just in the women's side of things, and the height that she had, the expectations she had.
Let's start with the rookie, Caitlin Clark Kent. Superwoman, you see what I did there? She was on a tear, and last night was no different. Wings, fever. Caitlin Clark set to go as she broke the single-season assist record.
She's been playing like a top 5 player in the league. She's been regularly dishing out double-digit assists in that time frame. Teams can no longer blitz her and trap her.
You know what's crazy? Larry Bird just dropped a bombshell about Caitlin Clark. He's not just comparing her to any player. He's saying she's the female Larry Bird. That's like Michael Jordan calling a rookie the next MJ. It's insane. But why is this such a big deal? Let's break it down. Bird isn't just throwing around compliments. He's seeing something special in Clark, something that reminds him of his own game. He's talking about her shooting range, her confidence, her flair. Bird calls her the total package. Coming from a legend like him, that's not just praise, it's a prophecy. Imagine this, you're watching a WNBA game and suddenly you see moves that remind you of Larry Bird in his prime. That's what Bird is seeing when he watches Clark play. He's not just impressed by her shooting, which is off the charts by the way. Bird's raving about her floor game, her ability to see the whole court and make plays happen. It's like watching a chess master while everyone else is playing checkers. But here's where it gets really interesting. Bird isn't just talking about Clark's skills. He's talking about her impact on the entire league. Remember how Bird and Magic Johnson transformed the NBA in the 80s?
Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever had over 1.8 million viewers. This is now on an NFL Sunday. They had over 1.8 million viewers, and the rest of the games had around 400,000 viewers. These people are coming in waves to watch one player who has sold out every single arena that she has played in this season. Well, I have not seen the viewership reports for the games last night yet, but I'm sure that it is probably double of what the Indiana Fever game got on Sunday.
They didn't just play great basketball, they made the whole league more exciting, more watchable. They brought in fans who'd never cared about basketball before. Now Bird's saying Clark could do the same thing for the WNBA. He's not mincing words either. Bird flat out says, she's doing for the Indiana Fever what I did for the Celtics in the 80s. That's not just high praise, that's Bird saying Clark could rewrite the WNBA's future. Think about it. Clark's rookie season is already one for the history books. She's putting up some of the highest scoring averages in WNBA history. But it's not just about the numbers, it's about the energy she brings to every game. Bird sees that same competitive spirit, that relentless drive that he brought to the court. He believes that's exactly what the WNBA needs right now to reach new heights. Bird's bombshell isn't just about Clark's game, it's about what she represents for the future of women's basketball. He's talking about Clark bringing the WNBA the viewership, the energy, and the respect it deserves. Just like he and Magic did for the NBA, Clark could be the catalyst that takes the WNBA to a whole new level. But hold up, there's more to this story. Bird's words are just the beginning. The real question is, how is Clark living up to this massive expectation? Is she really changing the game the way Bird predicts? Let's dive into what's happening in the WNBA right now, because Clark's impact goes way beyond just her stats on the court. Wait, yes, 10. Remember when people said women's basketball would never be as exciting as the men's game? Clark just blew that idea out of the water. She's not just playing basketball, she's rewriting the whole playbook. But get this, her impact off the court might be even bigger than what she's doing on it. And let's talk about what's really going down in the WNBA right now. Viewership skyrocketing, ticket sales through the roof. It's like everyone suddenly realized there's this incredible show happening and they all want front row seats. Clark's not just playing the game, she's changing how people see women's basketball. But here's where it gets interesting. Some folks are starting to ask, is this all happening too fast? I mean, we're talking about a rookie here. The pressure on Clark's shoulders is insane. Everyone's expecting her to be the savior of the WNBA, to do what Bird and Magic did for the NBA. That's a lot for anyone to handle, let alone a player fresh out of college. Now let's talk numbers, because Clark's breaking records left and right. Her scoring averages are off the charts, but it's not just about points, it's about the energy she brings to every game. People who never watched women's basketball before are tuning in just to see Clark play. That's the kind of impact we're talking about. And you know what's really mind-blowing? Clark just landed a Nike deal worth $28 million over 8 years. That's not just big, it's historic. We're talking about the richest sponsorship contract for a women's basketball player ever. And get this, it includes a signature shoe. That's the kind of deal usually reserved for the biggest names in the NBA. But here's the thing, it's not just about the money. Clark's changing the whole game. She's bringing in new fans, people who never gave women's basketball a second thought before. Now they're glued to their screens, watching her every move. It's like she's single-handedly expanding the WNBA's fan base. And if you thought that was impressive, check this out. 36 out of 40 Fever games are going to be on national TV this season. That's insane. When was the last time you saw that kind of coverage for women's basketball? It's like the entire sports world is saying, we can't miss a single moment of what Clark's doing. Yeah, but here's the million-dollar question. Can Clark handle all this pressure? We're talking about a rookie who's suddenly become the face of an entire league. The expectations are through the roof. Everyone's watching, waiting to see if she can live up to the hype. Experts are saying Clark's unique style and ability to draw crowds could change the WNBA for good. We're talking increased marketability, mainstream appeal, the whole 9 yards. But that's a lot of weight to put on one player's shoulders, especially someone just starting their pro career. So here's the deal, Caitlin Clark isn't just another rookie, she's a full-on game changer for women's basketball. We're talking about a player who's not just breaking records, but shattering expectations. She's got the skills, the swagger, and now she's got the whole world watching. But you know what the real question is? Can Clark keep this momentum going beyond her rookie season? It's one thing to make a splash, but it's another to change the tide for good. The pressure's on and everyone's wondering if she can live up to the hype year after year. One thing's for sure though, the WNBA will never be the same. Clark's already rewritten the playbook, and we're all just trying to keep up. Buckle up, folks, because this is just the beginning of the Caitlin Clark era.